charge, bigyan lang mo supply ng kuryente ang aking laptop para kasi tatabi yung mga gamit. Ano? Usog lang to. Yun. Tama. Yan. Para ilapit ko yung laptop. Okay, mute! Ay! Si Joaquin, hindi ko naasahan yan ah! Alay Mac, kamusta ka na? Welcome to this live stream. So, itong live stream na ito, ang gagawin ko, magpapatulong lang ako sa mga ibang tao. So, as you can tell, this live stream is gonna help people. So, let's start with. So this live stream here is gonna help someone, which is quite useful. There you'll be earning even more money. So, let's go. Soldering iron is on the ready, so yeah. I will plug it first so that this can have enough power. We will plug our heat gun for my heat sinks just later, but for now we'll start soldering. Here's the new thermal fuse. I ordered this from Shopee. That's 16 pesos plus shipping, I think. So I will do a review. So the thermal fuse costs 16 pesos on Shopee, including shipping. I don't even know if you can see it too because I keep on talking though. There. 16 pesos including shipping. And advice to you, I am not affiliate to Shopee Philippines. This is only my experience as a loyal customer to Shopee Philippines. So we will have to take the new capacitor needs for that. Yeah. We don't need this anymore, this wire. We don't need to bother bypassing, it's dangerous. It's gonna be quick. Hey Finn. Good, very good. Fixing broken appliances for people. I see. You're helping others too. But let me adjust the camera for you. If you notice that this two electric fan behind that, the Western Appliances desk fan, feels like it's starting to slow down again. And SDS 16C, if you remember, I put a new blade. I'll show you how it looks like. Now I don't know if you remember this electric fan blade I put for this electric fan. Our customer is complaining that it's going too fast. It's powerful. So my plan for that is to swap motor with the one that is slowing down. So I'll be looking for a donor electric fan. But for the meantime, I will be repairing this. It's very good to be helpful to someone though. Just repairing a broken fan. Hopefully I won't snap a wire or two with this automatic wire splicers. Oh. Okay, this is too hard right here. Very difficult to circumvent. There. Hopefully I can circumvent that anyway with a wire. This is not the beginning, so this one is very short, but we'll have to make it too. So we had our spare wire ready. Don't know if you can see this too. I think my DIY desk lamp right here is making space. So let's move this thing aside to make space. And my adapter for the laptop. Okay. First is here's my automatic wire scrapers. All you have to do, just choose the size. This is quite a small gauge, and you have to strip depending on how long or short you want it to strip. So, see, it's already stripped. Then what I'm gonna do next is we're gonna have to I don't know about you, this will short circuit because the insulation is already off. So let's twist this wire right there. And we're gonna have to solder it to make it permanent. I'm dealing a new capacitor anyways. No. And here's my soldering lead. I also bought this in Shopee. Yeah, you can show this camera, but I'm talking. And what we're gonna do, shut off this fan because this electric fan right here is too powerful. It will turn off the soldering iron. So what we're gonna do, just gonna solder the wire here to our lead. Oh, do the best right here. Use the belt to break the solder. There, simple as that. Don't know will cause an electrocution right here, but we will insulate that in just a minute. We're gonna do. Now we had a black wire. I need to be at least. So this one right here is already soldered. So we'll insulate that later on. We'll find out if that will cause a short circuit, which is quite stupid. And I did this work for nothing. Okay. Enough with that dilemma. So we'll strip the second one. There you go. And you notice this is a short wire, so we'll cut this. And I'll put this insulator here. This is very important. Before I could put a thermofuse, I'll put this insulator first. Be like anything booting thing now. Internet connection issues right here. Throw up while live stream. So what I do is put a sleeve into it like that, so that this will put our thermal fuse. Then we'll okay. The brand is standard. Remember what I think Buting just called for new standard electric fan motors? They call it booger when it comes to build quality. Sheesh. Standard electric fans are not good anymore. The company wanted to do this for business. I watched Buting's live stream one time ago until one commenter said that they wanted to bring back the old models, especially the 90s models. Really good, but the problem is they don't want to spend the resources on that one. Otherwise, they go bankrupt. Some bug right here, flow question. So, let's unpack this thermal fuse I've ordered for on Shopee. This is a 16 pesos part. I'd say 16 pesos, just counting the shipping. And yeah, packaging like this are sometimes stubborn to open. Here, this is the new thermal fuse. This is a 230 volt, 2 amperes, 130 degrees Celsius cutoff temperature. This is what we needed right here. But if you wanted to solder this one, then I advise you to do this as quick as possible. Otherwise, you blow thermal fuse and then I'm using it first. Which again, yes, did this work for nothing at all. You can just leave this at this, or just solder it if you wanted to. It's up to you if you wanted to do that. But I'll try to solder it to make sure the connection is permanent, and be sure not to get close to the fuse. Otherwise, it will likely to pop. And like I said, you did this work for nothing. So here goes the thing. Actually, the brand of this soldering lead I bought is Ichiban. This is a Ichiban brand, which is the same brand I think Buting mostly use. Sometimes I see he use a different brand of soldering lead. He just use Rubicon very often, but mostly use this brand. So let's put this sleeve right here. Yung Buting for unknown reason call this spaghetti, but I like this to call this a PTFE insulator. Very important to keep this off the copper coils and cause a short circuit, which is not good. And this will be heat shrink, and this part of this one will be heat shrink as well. All you have to do is to twist it. Then plastic is in the way. Then we'll cut it off. Then we're gonna have to solder this as well to make sure that this one is permanent. Then we'll blast it off with a heat shrink. to seal off the joints. Yeah, I hope so, Joaquin. I know, Finn. The 3D Blue Stream, the 5 blader, yeah, as well as those cheap retro looking fans right here. Yeah, there's a lady borrowing in my shorts anyway. And before we could consider this operation completed, we have to verify if this one works. I just accidentally caught this capacitor lead wire very short right here, but no worries. So yeah, of course that person are not the same, but no worries, we could cut it off. So let me go get my multimeter to see if I kill this motor by cutting this wire right here very short, or what. Here's my multimeter. It's been working on for 5 years, 4.5, sorry. Put it to 20 kilo ohms, which is what we're gonna set. Be sure you see this one that says OL, meaning to say you are in kilo ohms. Unfortunately, this model doesn't read any capacitance, like a microfarad or nanofarad. It doesn't do that. This is your standard electrician's multimeter, so no worries though. Senior Yob's vlog had a tutorial on that one 5 years ago, or 4.5. I don't know. Yeah, he had a tutorial video on how to read the capacitance of a fan capacitor. So enough with that. So let's see if we can if I manage to save this. So be sure there could be power, otherwise backfired. 16 pesos is 61 pesos is damn wasted. So let's see if it has. I don't know to you if you can able to see my multimeter to see the readings. Don't notice. I don't know if you can see these two on your screen. Since my multimeter is pointing down the camera, I be like and ting because it's just a one-man show anyway. Ah, yes, I know that. Let's find out if it works. Stator coil is alive, yes. But what about our capacitor leads right here? We have resistance. That means this electrofan is good to go for a project or two. Nice work for me. 1 point. We saved it. So what I did right here is add another fuse, and here's the original fuse right here. I'm gonna explain why I didn't tampered with this. See, the reason I cannot tamper with this fuse right here because look, the nylon cable joist has been permanently wrapped onto it. So if I try tampering to it and getting through, chances are you could break a coil or two right there. And also, this cable ties right here is starting to disintegrate with age. But no worries because these nylon ropes will do the trick right here to hold this stator leads right here on place. And yes, forget about those disintegrated cable ties. Well, I'll cut this off anyway. Just forget about those disintegrated cable ties. I don't know if Enting Buting is already in live because he's doing this. I think the reason why he wants to do a live stream all the time because he needed more money to build his yes, he just wanted more money to buy building materials for for constructing his new home. And once that's completed, I might consider joining his housewarming. Unfortunately, it's in southern Leyte, most specifically in Libangon. Libagon, yes. Hope if I pronounce that correctly. So let's put the heat shrink right there. Remember. And this is a very sad news for my fellow YouTube content creator and fan collector KRC. His grandfather has suffered a mild stroke and he's in a coma. He was confined at the Baguio General Hospital, I think. Okay, now we're gonna have to pray for him as well as support him so that his grandfather will survive to recovery anyways. This is the wrong side of it. It's quite too large though, so we'll change that. This is by soldering kit. Man, it's a jumbled mess right there after tipping over, so over the rest. So we'll pick the best one. Sleeve it into to here. Always get this job right here. Don't use electrical tape right here. Although it does last, chances of for electrical tape, it could wear out over time. It could unravel. So let's add that heat shrink right here to stop the copper from touching the coils and cause a short, which is not good. Good for you, Wax. Kuromi, if you're watching this, this is a standard electric fan motor. Just trust me, this is a standard electric fan motor. And as I said, one lead that goes to the green wire is covered with this thermal insulator right here. And the other lead is covered with heat shrink. This is only for cosmetics. You don't need it to. It's only for cosmetics. You can try, so do a direct connection if you like to, but doing direct connection is quite very complex. And yeah, I have to flatten out first. I can try. Be gentle. There you go. Cool this thing down right there before I could touch it, because you know how bad is it. Huh? We'll turn on my soldering iron and exchange it for a heat gun in just a minute. We'll wait for that to cool down. F405LB has the worst motor design when it comes to repairability. If you tried opening, you have to unfold those metal clips. Yes. In order to open that motor, you have to unfold those pesky metal clips. But over time, doing that repetitively, it will likely to break off. That's why I don't like those motors very often. Those pesky tabs or metal clips could easily snap on when you try to do that repetitively. That's why I don't like those electric fans very often. I don't like it. Right, oops, this is the wrong size. So we'll get the correct one. That one is so small there. So we'll get the correct green one, yes. No worries about the colors. This is only for cosmetic purposes. The important is we're gonna have to make sure this one keeps alive. So come on, get in there, you little swine of a thermal. Okay, never mind. It get onto it with relative ease. So Time for me to heat treat this sucker with the heat gun. See? This thing has been running for 10 years straight, and yes, it's still worth it to own this kind of tool. It is far better than using a match or a lighter. Oops. Set it to off position and put it to low heat right here. And this is the main reason why I'm using this for heat treats, because it's far better than using a match or a lighter, because while the match and lighter is proven to be effective, over time you could end up burning this rubber coating, which is quite dangerous. Standard, a durable boy. I'm just repairing this standard electric fan motor so that I could help people out with the tutorials, like any other YouTube content creator who is an electrician, like Just Repair TV, Yob's Vlogs, Kapian Tony TV, Recontech, etc. Those guys are my two inspirations. Hopefully it did not blow up my replacement thermal fuse, because as mentioned, all my hard work here is done for nothing. So to completely shed it off, we're gonna have to cover it. This is only for cosmetics, okay? It's not gonna, it's only for cosmetics, not for functional. We'll cover this wire up right here. So this electric fan is happily going to live on again, because I put a new thermal fuse, since the one that was there previously is busted. Yes, it just, the old thermal fuse was busted, which was likely caused by overusage of the electric fan, which causes the fan motor to go thermal runaway and heat up right here, and yes, that happened. That killed the fan motor. So I have a tip for you: when you're using a fan, you have to use it 8 hours a day to prevent house fires. I see the news before about how electric fans burn one house or one property because of their negligence or carelessness by the people. So even if I put it at spaghetti, there's no worries in it. So we're gonna have to shove this until we get it too. I think the tackiness of the electrical tape, we have thrown it off. This is where I'm getting a very hard time, but just leave it as is. This is only for aesthetics, alright? It's only for looks, not for function. Now let's plug in my heat gun and again heat it up from there. Be careful not to hit the thermal fuse. That thing is brand new now. We don't want this to go thermal runaway again. What switchboard are you talking about? The switchboard, huh? Well, it's not necessary. I want to put cable ties right here to keep the cable clutter down. So I have to. So at least stick to. Then I have to reassemble this one. And during the reassembly, this is where it's going to be even more cool and interesting. Is we're going to install a brand new fan capacitor. Nothing special about them. And this is only for function, okay? Then let's go. So here it is. Here's our rebuilt stator motor. This is our new thermal fuse right here, and our new capacitor lead wire right here connected to, which is nice. Now this is thermally protected again. And this is the old one that was busted, likely caused by a thermal runaway anyway. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna play the song Runaway by the Cars because of copyright infringement concerns. I don't want to have this live stream taken down. Then we're gonna have to reinstall our motor. There's our capacitor lead wire. We'll put our new capacitor, but before I could reassemble the fan, I will take a picture for reference by reviewing the product I ordered from Shopee. Again, I am not affiliated with Shopee Philippines, but it's my experience to doing so anyway. First things first, we're gonna have to set an image of proof. If I'm put, okay. I'm gonna make a video. Wait. The reason I'm going to do a review on this one so that I could earn coins. So we're gonna have to review the capacitor next. But for right now, we're gonna have to reassemble though. So this insulation bugs me right here. That's why I put this heat shrink right here and keep sure the thermal fuse has been exposed though. Now we're gonna have to reassemble our fan motor. The reason why I'm making this live stream is to make sure that I am helping people out whenever their electric fan was broken. I hope this live streams help someone out if you're new to electronics. A while ago this morning, I watched a new Hugh Jeffries videos of, yes. Earlier this morning, I just watched a Hugh Jeffries videos on how he repaired an antique radio. Something's not quite right, guys, so we have to reseat it. We have to overstretch it like this. Aligns to, so that when we assemble this, we don't want failure. Who's in the stream? Yeah, Kuromi, it's a standard. Joaquin, na-buff na yung gas-gas sa kotse ni Tito Remo Box. Yung ginasgas sa strada. Yan. Oh, for the love of. Our cable strain relief will do this trick right here for right now. Then what's so important for this one is add some oil to the bushings right here so that the rotation will be very smooth right here and to prevent it from seizing up. And I will do the same in the front since I'm already on it. Not that bad on oiling an electric fan motor from inside. I'm trying to align the holes as best I could. Then we have to install this. Okay. We'll install this. The screw hole is quite, stubborn in my book, but in the end we should manage to persuade it through. Then a trick right here is to get the housing. And the reason for that I'll explain later. Once if I screw down our front and rear motor enclosures. Unfortunately for a tin can like this sucker, this is a bolted nut right here. Made out of aluminum or aluminium, depending on how can you pronounce that. And over time this could cause bushings to wear out prematurely. I've seen a lot of those anyways. So this is very complex to do so. Yes. And the reason I put those nuts right here in this screw so that I won't misplace them very easily. And apply our screws right here. I know something's not quite right. What's up, and the next step you're going to do, if you feel the shaft is getting on a hard turn, here's what you're going to do. Just hit the housing all around. And basically what it does is to make sure it has a play or alignment to the bushings right here. The bushings right here is really good. Really good. So we'll have to put on the last two screws right here, and let's move on to install the capacitor. Since the standard appliances used a 1.7 microfarad capacitor on their 16-inch electric fans, the new ones use a 1.5 microfarad capacitor. And the reason for that one is to save up some resources on purchasing that capacitor. That's it. Tighten up this motor real good. Then I don't know for sure if this will work because I was kind of overstretching this anyway. Then we have to unscrew this nut. Captain ng Piano XL, hello, welcome to my live stream. So, and this live stream is very helpful to someone who is new to repairing broken appliances like electric fans. And if you're quite weak to use this, then I highly suggest using a drill, an electronic screwdriver or a drill. Quite a line of itself, but yeah. To finalize this, here's my tip for you. I'm gonna share. Don't know if you can see this through the camera, but then the rear, then see, there's no resistance, so we'll fix it. Okay. See, there's little play, but little play means it's very good to go. If there's no play, then I'd suggest reducing the spacers on the shafting just a bit. Hey, Goob. If not, then hit further. I don't know. You can be the judge. This electric fan motor quite has a new thermal freeze though. So our next thing in our agenda is we're gonna put this plastic strain relief clip onto it. I don't know about you guys, this is not the original screw. I will tell you that for sure. That's not the original screw though. This is meant for a rear motor cover, the plastic cover. So what basically does is to keep the cables securely attached onto it, so that then screw it on. Hopefully it will align. Nothing too serious about this. There. So let me turn back on this fan. Put our then we're gonna put on our new capacitor, which I'm going to reveal it to you guys. Okay. The packaging wrap is too stubborn to it, but never mind. So Here's the capacitor installing. This was supposed to look like when it comes to new standard electric fans. 1.5 microfarads. But I want to go up of voltages here. 450 volts. It's better, longer lasting. But if you go lower, like a 350 volts, it will go bad over time. Before I put the new capacitor, let's oil our front and rear bushings. Oops. Waste oil. Don't want that. Be sure we're going to oil the bushings if you want to here so that this won't going to seize up. Producers and they can do more. So we'll get them up. So we'll live on. Now it's very velvety smooth. So before we will put this one and test this it further, we will test to see if I managed to kill this one, or just tamper the wiring. So on with my testing. That's why you should buy standard electric fans, especially the new models in the first place. They're not as good as old models. Good, we have. That means we have power. So we will test our speed control. Before we could put this in, we'll test a motor to see if we manage to destroy anything here. The windings, or how do you save it? Yep. 0.53 on the high speed, which is the red wire. 0.63 on the medium speed, which is the black. And 0.67, which is low speed. So that means this electric fan is good to go. We save it. And for wiring our electric fan capacitor, even though it's just a different color coding, no problems whatsoever there. Even if you try to reverse the color codings, there's no problems, since electric fan capacitors don't have polarity. But since we're going to have to do some color codings into it, so we're going to have to recreate it so that we look for OEM-ish. You can solder this if you like, but personally I'll use crimp caps, because I had a pack right here. It's supposed to be a pack of 100. Yes, that aircon came from one Serendra, my sister's old condo. And to protect it up, I will use one of these crimp cap or crimp connectors or close end wire connector. There could be a lot of things, but yes, we call it crimp caps or close end wire connector. So all I have to do, insert the wire to it, and get a good crimper like this. Pliers, I'm using a long nose pliers, but you can do any pliers you like. Okay, you can go with a vice grip or something similar like that anyway. And doing this so is gonna make this one look OEM. It looks like stock. As if we like restored it. So this electric fan motor is pretty good. There's a few chance left. So the bushings and the shaftings feels okay. The only problem with this motor is just a thermal fuse blow up. And the front spacer is already disintegrated, so I replaced this with this new one here. So let's see how our hard work pays off right here. Because we put a new capacitor. So whenever you're testing this one, I have strong advice to be very careful because this method of testing is way too dangerous. I'm not responsible for any injuries whatsoever, but to be extra safe, I have to keep off the unnecessary wires and tuck it away if necessary and keep the red and green wires separated. So I'm not guaranteed about your own safety. Just be at your own risk. So because the next step we're gonna see is way too dangerous. Okay? Mains electricity is not jokes. Okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect this one. It doesn't even matter which wire goes to which. So important thing is we're gonna have to get this thing up and working again. So let's install that. As mentioned, I'm not guaranteed about this. Okay, so far. I'm going to be very extra careful here because this is very, very dangerous. I'm not guaranteed about your safety. So yeah. Don't do this if you don't know what you are doing unless what you are doing, because this is very, very dangerous. AC electricity is no joke. So let's plug the fan to see if it works. Hey, it works though, but I have no proof. I know that, Kuromi. I know that. So to show you proof, I'll install this on the fan body to show that this is actually 100% working in real time, because for one, this is not a fan motor. We're gonna install that one because I have another fan to deal with and too. And for my safety, I'll have to wrap these joints. Wrap these joints. So once if I'm happy that this one works, so why not brought this back to service? Strap this with electrical tape right here so that it won't shock the crap out of me. So let's test it on an active fan. Actually, that is not the motor I'm gonna use for this fan because of how mercifully short the wire here. Yes, if I have extension, so no worries about that. So after I confirm this is work, man, a clip cap fell off. Man, a clip cap fell off here, so never mind that. Let's get another one. Yeah, don't mind that. I have a tip for you. Never ever going to reuse crimp caps. Over time it could crack. So don't reuse crimp caps. You only have to replace with these. There we go. I have a little crimped it very tightly so that it's going to buy one at Bounced. So to install our fan motor, and this is the blade. This is a EBS plus. This is a transparent blade. It's good, easily break. You're not very careful. So let me put my laptop. So set the camera, and gonna put it the fan. Hopefully you will see. Hopefully I won't drown myself. Something dust. Boy, so powerful than expected. So it's pretty powerful, to be honest. This electric fan is, it's really, good. But that is not the end of the world for it. Because we'll see about that one when I do about it. So this is not the fan mode I'm gonna put on my Crash Fine STX16C1. The final motor will be this one instead. We'll use a plastic blade instead. And I'll be going back myself by a new power cord and this is a cord. So this motor is already completed now, so this is not the motor I'm gonna use. I'll be using to buy STX16C1 because the final one will be the one from the SDS12 16. Okay, so let me cut this thing off so that I could use this on another fan or two. This is a perfectly good motor. And yes, my carpenter is independent, so we have to. This is our finished product here. The new capacitor is here. So this motor is really good. So yeah, let's hop on this one. If you recall that the last owner of this fan complains that this is running too fast, so I was certainly wrong about this being 1.7 microfarad, but I thought that's the original capacitors for new standard electric fans these days, right? No. They use a 1.5 microfarad capacitor for the sake of cost cutting, so let me disassemble this one and peel off this electric fan and grab my soldering iron so that I could remove this without actually cutting it from here. Okay, so before that I will do a review in Shopee for the items I purchased here. Select our driver. So our new capacitor cost 45 pesos including shipping from Shopee. And again, I am not an affiliate from Shopee Philippines. It's just an experience on their service. I don't know if you can see this through your screen. I just dimmed the brightness just a bit so that the camera can capture. So The new capacitor costs 45 pesos, including shipping. So, the total, the total spent, the grand total of this is 61 pesos. So, click order receive, and yes. Let's try to add a photo. Ay. Otherwise, no reviews, no comments. That's good. This is the fan motor we're gonna work into. There are a lot of mosquitoes in my workshop. So let me brought this electric fan down. And I don't have enough space. Otherwise I could knock down my tripod right now. Let me turn on my electric fan from down below because there are a lot of mosquitoes. And I don't like that. So this is not the fan motor I'm going to use though. So let's see if this one is already has a ground. If it's the ground, then I won't boost this. This will shock the next owner. It's not good. So let's find out if this is grounded or is it views. I see I'm putting the electric on one video because yep, no electric leakage means we're good to go. No electrical leakage means we're good to go. So yeah, save this electric fan motor from being, scrapped down to junk shops and has second chance of life to go. Already, little fella, we still have a lot of lives left into it. Just little care needs. So, on to this guy. So, like with the SDX, it's loose and yeah. Yes, same to me. I like Asahi electric fans. Asahi electric fans were the best, but the problem is they're expensive. And off you go, base panel. Yes. Yeah, this is quite dirty. It's quite dirty. I didn't tinker with the bottom before in the past. Now since we're already in here, we're gonna have to desolder the wires. But before we're doing so, there's a quick one connector here. Yes, pretty expensive for you. Boop. I think around CVC and some camera electric fans and Fukuda Eureka electric fans, they're quite questionable in my opinion though. They're not as good. I don't know. I'm excited for a sample to end. This electric fan model is only for repairs. The owner of this fan complained that the fan goes quite too fast and she doesn't like it. She can't use this electric fan. So what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna have to switch on. This is not something that, so that's why let's break on my soldering iron so that I could desolder this, or so that desolder this, or if I want it quick, then I better try to do this. There. Some dust fan is right here. I've created this electric fan, which is so let's leave this electric fan right down here so that I could read your comments about it. I think it's not charge anyway. My Asahi PF630 is going well for at least 2 years. That's why Asahi electric fans are the best. So that one's going well. No, the fan is powerful and it wasn't being used that very much in my house. The fans that was pretty much used is my DYP in my bedroom The LE6000 for my parents' bedroom, as well as the new GSF1643 remote controlled stand fan in my living room. The electric fan motor did go thermal runaway. She's still good. Camfil standard is not even good today. They're not as good. Camfil standard is not good either. They're not good. So while I was waiting for my soldering iron to heat up, the dust magnet, I'm guessing it's your Asahi PF810 or whatever industrial fan you've got right here. I'm not gonna guess. Okay, our soldering iron is already hot, so we have to desolder this. Be careful not to hit the plastics. Something's not quite. Maybe the electric fan was down here was blowing my soldering iron. Oh. Only for it to cool down. Just so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to desolder. Since I'm gonna be using a soldering iron, since I don't have a sucker or desoldering pump, so I'm gonna have to rely on using a soldering iron. To completely restore my SDX16C1, I will try to order the original standard electric fan blade until the Standard Appliances Service Center customer service told me that their fan blades were out of stock. So I hope this video is very helpful, so just give this video a like and comment, and I'll be answering to you in just a minute. So first things first, we're gonna have to transplant it to my SDX16C1. All you have to do is have to unscrew one screw that holds the knuckle shaft. Why am I always talking when I did show this? First things first, you have to unscrew this screw right here. Like that. Oh yes, you have to pull the wires, hopefully. This is not good, so our electrical cord is quite stubborn, so here's the only way. Our next thing is if this wire is quite stubborn to pull out, then take off the neck. Okay, who got the love right here? Nice. 100%. Whoever said that 100% must be whoever is watching my video who has expert on this one. So be careful not to lose the tilt spring and the pin, which is quite very important when you so we'll take this thing off. And take this entire neck assembly off the fan until we completely disassemble this electric fan. So we dismember this one, so we're gonna have to keep this as is, and here we're gonna look for a spot right here to safely. But for right now, I think Gonna reassemble the SDX over here right there, because I think we're gonna have to transplant motor, because this motor is way powerful as heck. The owner was complaining about. So let me unscrew two screws. This one holds the front motor cover in place. Simple as that. Hopefully I'm showing the subject so that you don't do it. So this electric fan motor is pretty healthy in my opinion. I say it works. It works perfectly, very flawlessly. No problems. Only problem was that is the user itself is complaining that it's spinning way too fast. So if you remember that when I reassembled this, I picked the wrong size of a tilt spring. So we're gonna have to change that in just a bit. Hopefully I got my long nose pliers being handy, because fingers won't cut it. And here's the tilt spring. This is meant for a standard wall fan. And I have to have parts right here laying around, like so. And then we flip over to look for a stiffer spring. There, I just recycle them. Okay. Here is another one, a tilt spring, as I mentioned. I'm gonna put this pin right here, so that there it is. So our tilt spring is already ready. So let's put this aside for safety. So if you do have the electric fan parts, please don't throw them away, especially screws right here. You won't bother going to hardware stores and buying screws, so that in the end you may want to reuse them in the future. And here's a big problem is this is very confusing though. I keep organizing very well. Hopefully you did. So anyway, up to check out. So let me put all my screws back. And the steel thing, we're not gonna use that. Maybe since I have a longer spring and a tilting spring, there you go. And this is the fan motor I'm gonna install right now. Not plastic one, that's why we roll off right into the table into the back. It's nice stupidity for black organizing that. So first things first, we're gonna have to, if you don't have the, we're gonna have to insert this wire first, because we're gonna insert our wire in this hole first before installing the neck. It will be proven to be difficult if you're wanting to do this sooner rather than later. See? I told you it's not that bad. Insert this. And so gonna have to scroll our knuckle shot with you. Like that. Hopefully it oscillates though. Then we're gonna do is we're gonna install tilting spring right there. And the center spring, don't mind it. Hopefully it will reach there, so don't mind that is only 4 of us back. But it's really before the tip top shape right here though. Yes, this is only temporary, so when it comes to final restorations, like ordering a new blade, front motor and the rear motor cover, this is the time I'm gonna have to clean this part. So we'll insert this. Okay, once we got this installed, let's start our elevation bolt here. Let's see the subject. Hopefully our wire is quite enough, long enough to reach, but in the meantime it's very reachable. This is where I get confused though, because spread all just bolt that what's too wide right. Okay, we'll finish this installation. Thank you very much, Windows 7. I support your appreciation. keep this part right here. And the reason for this one is that we won't bother buying screws. So that's why I'm saving them for future reference. So that in the end, we may want to use these. First, if I drop something like that. Wait, what's the heater? Turn on my flashlight. Well, yeah, forget it. I think I have spare, but this will be a temper. Since I'll get a new motor anyway. So hopefully it does fit. So we'll leave this as it is until we get a motor. So this is already installed. On the plate. Sometimes people make mistakes. So let's put this thing back together so that we don't finally install this. Good. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention this real quick that I will have to do some soldering. So first things first, remove this here and install this one. This is the fan motor I'm gonna use for this fan. But it will do the job right now. I'll have a tight screw. So we'll solder this one later. Yeah, but so I'll just install this later. Then we have to install this and this up. We'll buy a different in a different day, but now. Oh, this is very difficult. That's one down. Didn't expect this. Oh. Let's move this thing out. See? This is where I'm getting the harder times. Okay. So that I get these all. my fake UGT F24. SF did have that same thing though. But I've been using that thing right here because I had a air conditioner installed in my bedroom, and it's quite dusty because it is a hammer. I got trouble here. Kaya lang, stubborn na lang. Solder connection. Ready to get you. Sorry man. The SDX16C1 was mine, and this SDS16C has been repaired for someone in the past before, along with the Western desk fan in the back. Cosmic Dragon. The SDX16C1 is my fan. I bought this one at the junk shop for 20 pesos. That was completely dismembered. And this SDS16C is only for repairs because the owner of this one complained that it was too loud, it's too powerful, and she can't even use it. As if it's like blowing a S-ton out of air. I'm pretty sorry to say that, but yes, I'm not gonna have to mention that real quick on my live stream because of, I think, showing an expletive right here. On live stream, we are not allowed to hear it, so you better excuse me for saying S-ton, because I'm not gonna say that out loud on my live, especially if there's kids watching. Not what I'm going to do is to transplant the motor from my customer's fan to my scrap find SDX16C1 that I am planning to restore somehow so that I could have a nice fan to use. And since this is a standard electric fan, the color coding is similar to that to the new rewind stator coils you buy at repair shops or even online. Very ironically, very easy to remember. But however, the color codings could be varied depending on the fan brand or the manufacturer. Ironically, the high speed of oil is quite short ass. Sorry to mention that real quick on video. Forgive me. There. So we soldered all 3 speeds on this fan. Now, what's missing is just a power cord. I'm going to order a new one on Shopee. Here, there's no need to worry about that. It's just an easy solution. So since the SDX has been rewired with a new motor in mind, oops, my soldering iron, and the new tilting spring right here is installed. All you have to do is have to tighten this bolt right here so you have to do it. Okay, enjoy the game. Okay, just enjoy. What league are you referring to, Cosmic Dragon? Is it League of Legends? My SDX16C1 aside, and this is a temporary configuration until like, right? Why do I always have to talk when I did show you the subject? Sorry guys. Sometimes anything booting thing always does that the same. Because like him, he's only a single person crew though. He doesn't even have a cameraman. So there you go. This is something's not good. You should not over tighten it. You should not over tighten this one, otherwise it won't oscillate. Estimate of how long this wire was, because when I got wire was, this is not the motor I'm gonna install. It's too powerful for my client tool. The final motor will be more of an original, I think, because it's too powerful for there. So oh, I got it. You're playing League of Legends. Oops. That washer just flew off here, but hopefully I managed to get it. So let's estimate how far can we get. So, I will not use the tilting spring, otherwise we're toast. So first things first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to run this cable through. Or leave this like this. Or I'm gonna have to leave it as it is here. Because I think the guys who's gonna install my new Panasonic split type aircon. Actually it's not a new one, it's a second hand unit. So I'll have to leave this as it is here because it's going to be late and my shop will be closing down. So for the meantime we'll have to leave it as it is. And there's the motor I just already repaired. It's still in good condition though. The bushings and the socket's good. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I will do a live stream tomorrow when I going to fix the Western desk fan in the background. But before that, I will have to check it for how long it will go until the switch. I'm trying to run it it is from a wall fan, but very strange because it is still reachable. Also, it's not reachable dynamic attack. It's additional learning, so that's because I didn't put this plastic washer above it. So let me put that thing above it and estimate how long. Let me try to estimate how long it is. Let it go. So it's decently, so this cable is decently long enough, I think. So this is what we're gonna have to go after it because why not? It's gonna be a fun project though to replace this fan motor. So what we're gonna do right now is have to leave this access right here and we'll come back for tomorrow morning or afternoon and the guys is going to install my CS S9HKQ air conditioner in my bedroom as well as clean up, and I just asked my cousin to build me a shelf. Unfortunately, I parked my SPD18 because I think back then I made a mistake in that project. So, yeah. So, that wraps it up for this video or live stream. I hope wish you guys good night and I will see you tomorrow when I fix the Western Appliances test fan.